way that we used to think about college. A lot of the same things that filter down to high school, middle school, and elementary school, and even kindergarten.
That's indeed right. Before we go on, I have on my board that you are in Costa Rica. Is that correct?
Yes, it certainly beats being in disarmed and military-occupied D.C. at the moment.
Oh, yeah, the military occupation. Oh, God, is another left-wing hysteria. So what is it like in Costa Rica? Are people wearing masks?
No, you would never know that there's a pandemic being here, frankly. There are people at the beach, kids in the pool, people surfing. It's just life as we can vaguely remember it at this point.
And how do they explain it? How do you explain it? I'm
a senior fellow in education, not in health policy, but I explain it as this is a phenomenon that has as much share over our lives as we let it, and that different places make different decisions about fundamentally how they want to live and what they value and how they think about, the role and the purpose of life.
And they allow Americans to come in?
Mm-hmm.
No quarantine period?
No quarantine period, no COVID test.
Wow. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow there. It sounds great. So let me ask you, since this is your field of expertise, what has happened to teachers?
Yeah, I think that teachers have, in large part, become a somewhat well-intended victim of a strong ideological takeover that they are getting from their administrators. Every teacher goes into education because they want to help kids. They want to make the world a better place. They have this kind of intrinsic and not necessarily negative kind of social justice bent, right? But they're also going into a workplace where a lot of times they don't have great job security. There are a lot of professional pressures placed on them. And so when the administration says, hey, if you want to help kids, if you want to do social justice, now we need you to broadcast these messages to children, and we are going to train you and re-educate you before you continue to educate them, they'll fall in line, either willingly or unwillingly, to this anti-racist, quote-unquote, equity-driven ideology, which is, as we try to express in the video, and I'm trying to write, just a new form of racialist hierarchy and kind of a modern form of just racial hatred and supremacism that they are going along with in large part because it's presented to them as the best thing they can do for the kids.
So they buy it.
I think some of them quite willingly, and I think a lot of the teachers that I talk to will say, you know what, I don't really know that I can speak up for colorblindness because I'm not willing to risk my job. And I believe in colorblindness, but I have to say what I'm told to say. I have to reflect the values that I'm told to reflect. I think it's a mix of the ones who really buy it, which might frankly still be a minority, but a minority that controls the culture of the school because the social pressures on them are such that if you articulate a case against it or express direct doubt over it, well, then you'll be labeled the worst thing in the world, which is a racist. And not that many teachers are willing at any point in their career to take, a strong stand against the messages that are coming down to them from on high.
In light of the indoctrination rather than education in schools, I have recommended to Americans that they take their kids out and either put them in a school if they can find one that teaches and rather than indoctrinates, or homeschool them. When we come back, Max Eden, who gives this week's PragerU video,